Tina, Director of Social Ministry for Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. It's interesting to be with you in this way and also kind of exciting to be able to enter into your homes in this kind of wonky time that we're in. I've gotten some calls from you. Many of you are connected in some way to the outreach to the poor that the church does. And you're probably wondering about how you can continue that, or if the church is continuing that in the midst of our social distancing. And I want you to be aware that the church is very much still about the work of ministering to those who are in need. It might look a little bit different, but we are still welcoming people here into the church as needed. Although we might be extending a gloved hand, we are still looking eye to eye at those that are in need. This morning, as I came in, the first place I went to was the Blessed Sacrament. And as I prayed silently before the Lord, I couldn't help but have a sense of awe. You know, I had a moment with the Lord, looking, if you will, eye to eye with Him, and trying to discern, to tell Him what I was feeling in the face of all of this. And I have to be honest with you, the word that came to my mind was awe. You know, just awe in a very real way of the mighty hand of God, again, in the midst of a people who are suffering. I've been spending some time reading this book, The Day Is Now Far Spent, by Robert Cardinal Sarah. And it speaks, I think, to the heart of the social teaching and the social ministry of the church. And he writes in his book, "The Christian faith has shown us that truth, justice, and love are not simply ideals, but enormously weighty realities. It has shown us that God, truth and love in person, desired to suffer for us and with us. Bernard of Clairvaux coined the marvelous expression, 'God cannot suffer, but He can suffer with.'" And I think that that's the heart of the mission of the church, and most especially of this parish. Many of you that are listening to this probably helped in some way with Port just recently when we housed those that were poor and in need. And in that, we learned that being with those poor and vulnerable sort of gives us a wrestling in our hearts, something that we don't know how to help or what to do. And so in this time, I'm going to give you just a couple of things that you can be doing immediately right now, because I have heard from you and I know you want to help. But the church right now, while we continue to assist those that come to us for their immediate needs, is sort of taking a moment of silence, you know, a long pause to see who needs help and what help might be needed, and just takes a moment to look around them. Some things that you can do in this time while you await word from the church on what is needed and how you can help is that you can be in a very real way in solidarity with those that are poor and vulnerable. As you go about your day shopping and you see that the shelves are empty and some necessities that you may need for your family are not available, you can contemplate at home in private meditation with the Lord about those that are poor who have no money. And even though items may be on the shelf in a very real way, they're not able to get what they need for their families. As you listen to the news and you hear about from the president or from the government, some steps that they are asking us to take, you can stand in solidarity with the poor who often aren't able to make their own decisions. Decisions are made for them through help agencies and through government agencies, and they're not able to make many of the decisions for their life. So you can stand in solidarity with them in that, if you feel like your life is out of control and out of your daily decision making. And so prayer would be key. Those are just a few small ways that we can open up in the week to come, that you can think of the poor and recognize the poor and wrestle within you in a very real way with those who need help